Hello and welcome to this full beginner's guide and tutorial for Google Forms. If you're looking to learn everything you need to know to be able to utilize Google Forms, this is the video for you. I'll have timestamps down below in the video description for you to bounce back and forth to sections or segments of the video where you need to learn. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First things first, in order to get to Google Forms, you can open a new browser tab and type in forms.google.com, and that'll take you to the Forms main page here. Or you can go to your Google Drive and log in, and then click New in the left-hand corner, and then go to Google Forms right here, and it will take you to where you can start creating your very first Google form. So here we are on the Google Forms main page, and what you're going to see are these templates up here and then a button that says blank form. Once you've created forms, you'll see them here under recent forms. So as you can see, I have a list of forms that I've created or have been shared here under my recent forms. You can organize those with this drop down arrow here or alphabetically and in folders on the right-hand side. To create our first form, we want to go ahead and click this button here with the addition symbol that says blank form. Just like so, and this will go ahead and bring up this box here. Gemini, which is Google's AI assistant or tool, is going to open up and is going to say, hey, can you describe what type of form you want to create? This is new. This is the easy way of doing it. If you know what you want and you say, hey, my kid needs to go ahead and have a snack sign up form, you can type that into Gemini here and it will do a decent enough job of creating it, but you'd probably have to go and tweak a few things. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. You know exactly what that is. Here is our untitled form. We're going to go from top to bottom and I'm going to show you everything that you'll need to do in order to have a functioning form. So first things first, right here where it says untitled form, just go ahead and give it a name. Just make it relevant to whatever the form is about. So we'll say this one is going to be sign up for a 5K race. Right here where it says form description, just go ahead and give it a description. You can be as detailed or as little details as you want right here. And then with formatting, you can see here, we can select things in the description, make them bold, just like you would in a word processor. The next thing we want to do is we want to begin adding questions. So they give you question number 1 right here, and it is automatically set as a multiple choice question. If you wanted to, we could click into this question, hit the trash can icon, and just start fresh, which is what we're going to do now. The first thing you want to do is in the right-hand side here, you're going to see all of these buttons here. The first one, which is the Add Question button, is the one we want to click to go ahead and create our first question. On the right is a drop-down menu. If you click that, it should say multiple choice. You can decide what type of question or information box it is. This is a multiple choice question. You can give a checkbox question, a file upload, linear, rating. There's a lot of different things that we can do. We're going to start with a multiple choice. So go ahead and type what the question is right here in the question box. You can, again, bold, italicize, and do different formatting things here. And then for multiple choice questions, you can see option 1 is already added. But again, you go ahead and add your own options. So right here, we can add other options by right here where it says add option. And then we can just give another option, add another option. With multiple choice questions, you can add a ton of different options, but again, you add as many as you need, and if you added one too many, you can click the X here to remove said option. Also, if the option needs a photograph attached to it, you can go ahead and click this photo or add image right here and upload a photo from your computer or Google Drive from within the form. Once you've got question number 1 completed here, you can see there's a checkbox here that says required. This means when the person is filling the form out, if this is checked and over to the right, this question will be required in order for them to submit this form. So think of it like for this form here, I need their shirt size. That is mandatory, have to have it. So that is a required question, just like so. Again, you can add images to not only the question itself, but the individual multiple choice options as well. The last thing I want to show you are these 2 buttons here. The trash can is self-explanatory, that deletes the question, and the duplicate question button is pretty self-explanatory as well. It will just go ahead and copy the exact question format here to another question down below. The three dots here, right next to the required button, will allow you to show description or go to selection based on answer, or you can shuffle the option of the order if that is something required for your form. In the drop-down menu, I'm not going to go over all of these in depth, but I will go through them quickly. Short answer gives them a very brief or small area to type in an answer. A paragraph gives them a much longer area to type in their answer. Checkboxes give multiple options where they can select multiple options, not just multiple choice where they have to choose one, but if we go here and add a bunch of options, as you can see, they can check option 1 and option 4, for example. Next is going to be the drop-down. Drop-downs just give every option specific subsets underneath them. After that, we're going to see file upload. If we know that the people have to upload a file like a PDF or a document, it says let respondents upload files. You'll hit continue. You'll go through a process, add the question, and you can see here, you can only allow specific file types if you want. Again, this can get as in-depth or as simple as you want it to be. The next one will be linear scale, so you can rate something. Next one is a star rating. You can give star ratings, great for like books and different things like that. Then you'll have multiple choice grid and checkbox grid. These are pretty self-explanatory. Click into those, give you rows and columns for your grids. And then date and time, this is where you would add a date or a time to your form just so it could notate when it's giving you these responses, when it was filled out, what date and what time. As with any question that you add to your form, you can go ahead and select the trash can icon here to delete and remove that question. There's a couple of other buttons here. You can add title and description. So if we do this here, you can see I can add a title of a different section. So if we're going to have subsections within our individual form, you can add titles and subsections that way. You can add images, you can add videos, and if you go here, you hit add section, you can see this makes that this is section 1 and this is section 2, just to break up the form in different areas. Again, these are all things that you can click the dot here and move and, adjust the way that you may want them. As with anything, you can hit Command or Control Z on your keyboard to undo something that you've done that you don't want to do. In order to customize and get this form to look the way that I want it to look, the first thing I want to do is make sure right here where it says untitled form, if you click into that, it's going to change the name of this form and how it's saved in your Google Drive to be whatever the name of the form is. So just know that going forward. The next thing I want to show you is right here, this little paint or customize theme. If we click on this icon here, this will allow us to customize how our form looks, okay? So we can change the header text to look however we want it to look and change that text. We can change the question text. That'll be the text and font used within the questions, and the text itself underneath the questions, the font that is used. You can have a header image. You can choose an image. You can add one that Google provides. So if you want to add, say, this one here, you select that heading, go to Insert, and as you can see, that heading will show up above the form itself, okay? So I'm going to hit Command or Control Z to undo that. But if you just want to change the background color, under Color over here, you can adjust it, choose a color, hit the addition symbol, and even get more granular to find a color that you really like. So if that's the color you like, you can add it. And as you can see, now our Google form is in that color. So that's everything that you can do under theme to get it to look the way that you want. Again, you can customize this as much or as little as you would like. I've opened up another one of my Google Forms here, and I want to show you the next segment. You're going to get responses to these forms, hopefully. And right here, you're going to see the responses tab, 38 responses. As you can see, you can get these in a summary, you can get them in question form, or you can get them in individual form, as you can see here. And you decide how you want to go through those. That's really up to you. So when you start getting responses, you can click on the responses tab here, and you'll be able to see the people's names and information and answers and responses to all of your questions. All of that will be under responses here. The next thing I want to show you is under the settings tab. If we click on settings here, we have a few different options. We have an option to make this a quiz, so we can assign point values, set answers, and automatically provide feedback. I have a video tutorial just on that. You can search on my channel and it'll show you everything you need to know about a quiz. Next is responses. If we hit the drop-down menu here, we can decide, do we want to collect email addresses? Yes, absolutely. have to be verified. Respondents will be required to sign into Google if that's the case, right? Responder input will mean respondents will manually enter their email address. So you wouldn't have to put this question in your form, it would automatically be added. Send responders a copy of their response. If you want them to see a copy of their response, then you can say, I want that to always be done, and Google will automatically send that. Allow response editing. So responses can be changed after being submitted. That's really up to you. And then require sign-in. That's if you want them to be required to sign into Google in order to do this. Under defaults, we have form defaults and question defaults right here. For form, we see collect email address by default. Again, this is something you can choose. And then under questions, you can see make questions required, which would mean that every question in your form would be required, as opposed to you going here, selecting a question and making individualized questions required. That's everything you would need to know under settings. This next part of the tutorial is very important. How do we share this? Like, how do we give people this form? Okay, so what you can do is here, right next to customize theme, you can go to preview. Under preview, this is going to be what it looks like when the person clicks on the link to go to fill this form out. That's under preview. We're going to close out of that. The thing you want to do is you want to first publish the form, make it live where people can go to it and fill out and give you responses. So click the publish button here. And then it says this here, publish form, responders, anyone with link. Now we can go to manage and you can see that I can individualize or send to specific people right here by typing in their email addresses. Or under general access, I can say that a responder view is anyone with the link, or if I want to, I can remove the link after I've published it once the form or the date of the event is over, right? Editor view is restricted, or anyone with the link. You obviously want to leave editor view as restricted. You don't want everyone editing and messing with your form. I wouldn't even go here unless you really want to. The easiest way to share is right here where it says anyone with link, you hit publish, boom, there it is. As you're gonna see, now you have a new button in the upper right-hand corner that says published with this little guy here. If we click on that and we go and click on published, you can change, you can cancel, or you can copy the responder link. Now, what is a responder link? If we copy that like so, and we open a new browser tab, paste that in, go there, you can see that's just the form. That's the link to the people that we want to send it to. Now, you can mask this link with any URL shortener if you want, but you send this via email, you put this on your website, and people can start to submit responses to this form for you to go ahead and start collecting your data. So again, all of the publishing stuff and sharing is going to be right here. If you ever need that link again, click on that, go to copy responder link, and then if you want to, you can click this box that says shorten URL, and it will automatically shorten the URL for you to make it look a little cleaner when you paste this and embed this wherever you may to start getting responses. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is these three dots right here next to published. We can make a copy. This is for the entire form itself. We can move to trash. We can pre-fill the form. We can get HTML embed code to put on our website, or we can print a paper copy of the form. All of this will be done here with these three dots. And if you want to, when the time of the event is up, you can go to unpublish form, just like so. It says the form will no longer be visible, even with the people that have the link. Click unpublish, and you're good to go. That's it, you're done. Now, as far as how this stuff works in your Google Drive, if I go to my drive here, you can see here is this Google form. It looks like a little purple form, Google form icon here. If I wanted to, I can just double click to open that form again, and I'm right back here working on my Google form. I will have a pinned comment underneath this video with frequently asked questions and problems that you might run into. If you have any further questions, please put those in the comment section and I will get to those as quickly as possible. I hope this was helpful. If it was, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.